gentlemen, this is It's All Good, Man, the Better Call Saul podcast. My name is Brian, and with me, as always, is my golf caddy, Dave. Dave, how's it going today?
So you know how sometimes you don't get a lot of sleep the night before, and then you wake up and you're waiting for your brain to just switch over?
Oh, you mean life?
No, you have this cloud around your brain, and you just wait, it won't switch over, kick on, get into gear. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
All right.
It's just a foggy haze.
So it's going to be a good show for the first episode of season 2. First things first, I hope you guys liked our new theme song that was put together by Dave and our buddy Tom. I love the theme song. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But we wanted to do something a little bit different for season 2, and I believe that the plans are it might change a little bit as the season goes on.
Yeah, we're noticing how the genre, there's certain genres that are kind of thematic. Mm-hmm. Thematic to, I almost said It's All Good, Man. Thematic to Better Call Saul. And we might make some theme song copies of those styles and just kind of switch genres and mess things around and create bumps and up the production value a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, I look forward to hearing it. I really like it. It's been, I actually, first time I heard it was 3 weeks ago. And it's stuck in my head. I'll randomly just sit there and be like, hey, it's all good, man.
Yeah, also thanks to Pat and Phil. And we don't do last names. So, but yeah, they play the drums and the mandolin.
Yeah, and if your name is Pat, and no matter where you are, if your name is Pat and Phil and you play those two instruments, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for keeping the art alive.
All right, let's do this, Dave. Season 2, episode number 1. Are you pumped?
Switch it.
Let's do it. All right, so it opens up, and we're back at the Cinnabon in the black and white, present day, and I love that they went back to that. We speculated that it might go back to that last season, and I'm glad that they kept that theme going.
So far, it appears that they're going to open every season with a little clip of where Saul's at now.
Yeah.
Or whatever his name is now.
Yeah.
And this was a much more extended scene.
It was a little bit longer, right?
Yeah, longer than I thought it would be, but pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Still managing the Cinnabon.
Mm-hmm.
Gets himself locked in the trash room. Mm-hmm. And what I liked about that was the door closes behind him, and now he's stuck in the trash room. Obviously wants to get out. He goes to hit the emergency sign or the emergency exit, sees a sign that says the police will be notified, and then backs off.
Right. So he does not want the cops to come.
Right.
Or he doesn't want the hassle.
I think he doesn't want the police to come because present day would be the aftermath of everything that happened in Breaking Bad.
Right, yeah.
So he's still probably somewhat of interest, I would think. You know what I mean? I think he would be, if because that would be present day, a huge story about this crazy math teacher that started selling meth and everybody involved with it, and then the lawyer for him just happens to disappear. He's probably still a pretty big person of interest. He's somebody that somebody would want to talk to somewhere. So he decides to wait it out. He went in at 9:20 and he got out at 11:45.
Yeah, he's been there for about 2 hours. I like how he just, when the door opens up, he just gets up and walks out.
Yeah, doesn't say a word. Yeah. And he finds a screw on the floor and scratches SG was here.
That's right. Leaving his mark.
Little
clues, little breadcrumbs for the police to find.
And then, of course, the opening that we always love, the lo-fi opening, and it was the inflatable Statue of Liberty that's on top of his, or that was, I guess, on top of his office.
I think that's how Uno opened, too, if my memory serves. I wonder if they're going to do that, too. Maybe same openings for the same episode numbers of the season. Who knows? Yeah,
that's a good thing to look into. If anybody out there listening would like to look into that, and write Dave and I on Twitter or Facebook or on our website at saulgoodman.com.
I think that's something that I can look up.
I was trying to build participation there. You see that?
Well, I'm not. I'm trying not to use the audience as a crutch so much.
Oh, okay.
Let's have a race. Let's see who can get it first.
Right. So the show opens up, and it's actually kind of like an extended replay of the last scene from season 1.
Yeah, it shows you what happens between when Jimmy goes into the parking garage and leaves the parking garage.
Yep. How he meets Howie and the folks from David and Maine. It appears everybody's all cordial, and it shows the scene about
how wrong we were about Ed Begley Jr.
Yeah. We were way off.
Well, I mean, he was a lawyer.
He was a lawyer, but...
Okay. Yeah, so he's actually Clifford Maine. He's one of the partners of Davis and Maine.
Yep.
And he is interested in Jimmy.
Yeah, he's there to take the job, but before he officially confirms, he pulls Kim aside and asks her if he goes forward with that, if they're going to be a thing.
Right. Laying it all out there.
Which I really wasn't sure how that was going to play out either, because it was so awkward. And she did a great job of avoiding the whole situation just by saying one thing doesn't have anything to do with the other.
Yeah, it's your typical friend zone conversation.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Totally typical friend zone. And then, he makes the decision that he's going to pass, and he walks out. And then that's where we see the last scene of...
So does that mean he was only... Well, I guess that does mean that a large part of his pursuit of the law is attached to his pursuit of Kim.
Deep.
If one thing has nothing to do with the other, then all of a sudden he decides, okay, well, I don't need to be a lawyer anymore.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I didn't even put that together, but that's a great point. Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. Good call, Dave.
As a frequent resident of the friend zone, I understand how that mentality works.
So we see a replay of the last scene from the first season.
Mm-hmm. Smoke on the water. Smoke on the water.
Absolutely.
You know what Smoke on the Water is about?
The Fires in the Sky.
It's about a band.
Yeah.
It's supposed to record an album at a casino.
Yeah.
And it burned down.
Really?
And they're watching the smoke on the water.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. You're watching your plans go up in smoke.
Oh.
Your future.
Was it a riverboat casino?
I think it was on a lake or something like that. Oh. It's not in the United States. I honestly, I think it was England, maybe.
Gotcha. I thought it might have been.
It's Deep. That's a true story about what happened to Deep Purple, and it's about your plans going up in smoke.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Very, very deep.
Yeah, very. Exactly.
I'm gonna have to ask the music guy about that when I talk to him.
Absolutely. I kind of thought it might be a riverboat casino where I just went and won $450 because you were late for recording today.
Once again, how are you going to text somebody, you won me this money, and not share it with them?
Late fees.
Worse than my bank, dude. Worse than my bank.
So, Jimmy, by the way, I'm just going to put this out there once again. I'm going to use Sal and Jimmy interchangeably, so please don't get on my ass this year.
Could use Saul, though, instead of Sal.
Yeah. Sal, I don't even know who he is.
Chicago.
But Saul,
that's the Chicago
That's
accent.
the Chicago, yeah. Cicero. But Jimmy... he's kind of amped up. He seems like he feels he made the great decision, makes it back to the nail salon, and finally gets his goddamn cucumber water.
He finally gets his cucumber water.
Absolutely.
I thought he was just going to pay her some money.
Just throw it at her? Or?
Like, yeah, goddamn it, now I'm a customer.
Oh, gotcha. But no, man, he does the whole spiteful child thing. Just drinks right from the nozzle. Which is great because it's all over the floor now and shit.
Bathing in it, yeah. Hey, man, he's baptizing himself into the next phase of his life.
Nice.
Man, I'm on today.
You are so on,
I
dude.
need to not sleep more often.
It was that shot of whiskey you did before we turned on the microphones.
Brain loop. But seriously, that's kind of what happened. He's baptizing himself. It's all over the place, and then he's rips the sign off the doors. I'm not Jimmy McGill lawyer anymore. I'm going to do something else.
Absolutely. And then we have our first commercial break. And when we come back, we see Mike in the parking garage waiting with his pimento loaf sandwich. Gross. Absolutely disgusting. And, good callback. So apparently the parking garage is going to be a good set piece for every time Mike has to meet with a client.
Got to keep an eye on that bag.
Yeah.
It always seems to be in the same spot so far.
Mm-hmm.
The time it moves, something's going to be fucked up.
He's a man of methods. He's a man of methods. He's got his routine.
Right.
It's just the way he does things.
Consistency.
Yep. And coming down the ramp is a
playa.
Yeah. So coming down the ramp is Daniel Warmold and driving the pussy wagon from Kill Bill.
Wiggle your big toe.
completely douchebagged out, and Mike refuses to get in it because he says their business requires restraint. And this guy's been making some money between making some money with his dealings with Nacho, and decides to spend it on the douchiest car that you could have ever seen with matching shoes.
And a bracelet and a watch.
Yeah.
Is that like what are those watches from back in the day?
A Swatch watch?
Swatch watch.
Mike refuses to get in because he sees that the complications that can come from being flashy like that. And Dr. Wormel, or no, he's an IT tech, so fires him.
Well, it's kind of a mutual party of ways, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love how it played out, because he was for all the bravado with the big shiny SUV, he seemed actually really timid.
Oh yeah, that's obviously overcompensation. Mm-hmm. Playa. Yeah, license plate. But this reminds me of a T-shirt I saw recently. I was showing a friend of mine because I'm an audio engineer, and the T-shirt said like, "You don't know what I do until I don't do it." And I sarcastically showed a friend of mine. I was like, "Oh, look at this audio T-shirt," because there's a lot of jobs like that. It's not just audio guys,
right?
Especially guys like Mike.
Yeah, indeed.
Because he gets fired. I don't need you. You got your gravy train job, $1,500 a pop. And
easy peasy, man. It was easy peasy.
And Mike's like, you're going to find out when I'm not there, why I'm there.
Right. And I love they meet at the old factory, and I absolutely love the look of disgust on Nacho's face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like what?
And it's like he's trying to cover it up when he says, "No, old man." But he's absolutely, in his head, you can just see thinking, like, what the fuck is this clown doing?
This is the last time we're doing business together.
And he feigns interest in the vehicle, and Wormold invites him to take a look, and Mike was right. He should have been there to watch him, because Nacho opens up the glove box and gets his information.
That's right. He finds out his address.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
I don't know. Maybe they'll show that later in the episode.
Like your food with a little extra kick? Try Cuban Sriracha, hot sauce by the Pepper Jelly Company out of Miami, Florida. Cuban Sriracha is an artisan sriracha with a Cuban flair will spice up any dish. A family recipe passed down from the Diaz family right to yours. You can taste the tradition and the heat. Pick up your bottle of Pepper Jelly Company's Cuban Sriracha at www.pepperjellycompany.com. That's www.pepperjellycompany.com.
This episode of Nothing Important is brought to you by First Base and Beyond, the hilarious new book that defines the bases and expands the baseball metaphor for getting laid. A perfect gift for the holidays, bachelor parties, or just to have around to settle debates. Ever wonder what getting to third base really means? Get First Base and Beyond by going to www.firstbaseandbeyond.com. That's firstbaseandbeyond.com. Some of the proceeds also go to Save the Tatas. Firstbaseandbeyond.com. Copywritten by Brian of the Nothing Important Podcast. So then Mr. Cumpston is having a lounge.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. Am I immature, or is that obviously supposed to be like Mr. Cumstain? Like just something kind of childish and vulgar? Like it's just kind of funny that he's ripping these people off and he's like, Mr. Cumstain?
Yeah, it's like saying your name's Penice.
Yeah. One of the things I like about the scene was the cell phone floating in the Ziploc bag. Mm-hmm. And then that made me think, like, that's actually like great. If I worked at Ziploc, I would design bags with like an old 1990s style cell phone in them and try to do a tie-in with Better Call Saul. Not a cell phone in the bag, but like printed on the bag.
Be great for canoe trips.
Absolutely. Kim shows up. She's pissed and
disappointed.
Yes. Yeah. More aggravated than anything now that I think about it.
Right.
And they decide to take it in. Well, he invites her in. He's trying to be smooth and
he's like, get in the water.
Like trying to be smooth and charming. She has none of it, and she's like, all right, Mr. Cumston, I'll be at the bar for a short time or whatever she says.
And then he hauls ass to the bar.
And then of course he hauls ass. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Right. So they're meeting at the bar, and Jimmy's trying to scam drinks. $50 shots of tequila.
I had one of those once.
Did you?
No.
But Kim is onto him, and she's trying to do the honest thing, won't let him pay. She gets well Well tequila and house wine for herself.
A house red.
House red. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So obviously disappointed, and then they have a little chat of dude, Jimmy, what the fuck is going on? And I like how she makes reference to like the weird pinky ring. Like you're wearing the weird pinky ring, which is nice to see that they kind of keep that going, you know, like because I
believe he has it in Breaking Bad.
He does have it in Breaking Bad, but I think it's just more of a costume design then, because he never really plays with it.
Right.
But it seems like now, like Marco is very much so in his thoughts. So, So, you know, as he's becoming Saul Goodman, you know, it's kind of like his buddy is with him.
And he's not used to jewelry, so he notices that it's there.
Yeah. And then we have a stockbroker.
Well, first, I wanted to say that one of my things I wrote down from the conversation was the thing that Jimmy enjoys the most about lawyering is the selling people and the convincing people. Selling people.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, he's basically a con man.
Right, yeah.
Which we all know. Saul Goodman's a con man with a law degree.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the way that was written. There's a lot of things written.
You know what else I liked about that, too, is that Jimmy makes the comment that he's looking for an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually seem to hurt Kim.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, yeah. She says, wasn't Davis and Maine an opportunity? But she kind of reels back right when he says it. And it's like, you know, he's trying to figure out where he's going in life, and Kim kind of sees this.
Right.
And he walked away from Davis and Maine previously, you know, under the impression that he thought it would help his relationship with her. Like almost in a way he gave it up.
Right. And you know the old saying, fool me once, shame on me.
I'm not even going to attempt this because I way botched a joke on
fool
this.
Fool me twice, I won't get fooled again.
Yeah.
It's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Right.
Yes.
And, and then she talks about doing the right thing, and Jimmy makes the comment that the right thing has gotten him nowhere. And then you can really see the disappointment on Kim's face.
Right.
Like, it seemed like she was really...
Like they have different opinions on what where is.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then from the background, you just hear donkey balls, which absolutely cracked me up. It's pure donkey balls.
I was listening with my headphones on, which I've been doing a lot lately since I'm editing movies now and stuff. And you hear like his whole conversation.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could hear it through the speakers, because in the headphones you really you hear him be like, "What did he say? Bobby, what's up, brother, man?" Like out of nowhere. I was like, what? And then I'm like listening to all the background, and they call it the group walla, all the random, you know, noises.
Right, yeah.
The garbles, but you can hear his conversation if you pay close enough attention, which I'm probably not going to do.
Right, but the attention to detail is pretty cool.
It is. The sound design team is doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, and actually that gentleman's name is Ken. That character's name is Ken, who is our first Breaking Bad cameo.
I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah, because Walter White was waiting behind him in line in Breaking Bad and found him particularly obnoxious and destroyed his car. But that's Ken from Breaking Bad.
Oh, there you go.
So there's the first. We talked about it, and I said you'll never guess who the Breaking Bad, because like I said, like Hank and all the obvious ones, but now they're going so far.
I think my reply was like, what did I say? Crazy 8. Badger,
right?
Like, Jesse Pink. I was just throwing every name I could think of at you, and no, it's random douchebag number 1.
Yeah, random douchebag number 1, Ken from Breaking Bad.
Well, it's good to see he still has work. Maybe we should try to get him on the show.
Yeah, already on it. Nice. already on it. So they kind of overhear the conversation in the awkward silence, not really knowing where to go in their conversation or where they're going to end up. Jimmy takes a chance, and he wants Kim.
Ooh. The sunk cost fallacy. Did we get to that part? Yeah. Did you catch that part?
No, I didn't. Explain.
Where Kim says, you've already come this far, so why would you give it up? Why not just see it through? And then Jimmy explains, well, that's like the sunk cost fallacy, which is a gambling problem, where you think if you keep throwing good money after bad money, you'll recoup your money eventually.
Oh.
Like once you realize that this is a lost cause, just cut your losses and get out of there, go do something else, make it up on in something else.
Oh.
Don't keep chasing bad money with good money.
Right. Kind of like what I did this morning at the casino when you were late for the recording session and I won $450. I was winning and winning and winning. And then when I started to lose, Dave, I said, you know what? Maybe I'll just cut my losses and walk away.
It's kind of like what the Buccaneers did to Lovie Smith. They don't want to keep throwing bad money after good money. Oh, we're not on the broadcast.
That's okay though.
Damn it.
But Jimmy wants Kim to understand what he's talking about, and he goes over to Ken, or random douchebag number one, as Dave says, and they're posing as newly minted millionaires that inherited their brother and sister, supposedly.
Yes,
and
Victor with a K and Giselle St. Clair.
Yeah. I love Giselle, because that is such a perfect name for her to use, because in that situation, like, you could just see where she's like, I can't say anything too common, but it can't be too ridiculous. And then the first thing that comes out of her mouth is Giselle.
Giselle St. Clair.
Giselle St. Clair.
And I love how
she gave him a last name. Like,
yeah,
so now
she's taking the lead on this.
Yeah, she's pushing the ball forward.
And Uncle Humphrey.
Yeah.
Uncle Humphrey St. Clair.
Right, he was from South Africa, right? And what was great is, Ken starts being suave and kind of starts hitting on Kim. It's like, wow, they're growing beautiful down there, right? Right. And compares her to Charlize Theron.
Yes.
But, yeah. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron. Yeah. Charlize Theron.
And many people say she should have got an Oscar nod for Mad Max, and I'm going to disagree with that. But moving on. But it wasn't exactly Corky Romano.
Okay, yeah, I didn't understand that.
Okay,
yeah.
So he's
that to me,
you don't want to go out like the Hindenburg or the other thing you said that I missed.
Andrea Dora,
Mm-hmm.
Or Corky Romano.
Right. Okay. Well,
they seem solid.
But the Corky Romano thing is a joke, because I think everybody knew from the get go. You guys want some cookies? Like, everybody remembers that commercial. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was not solid from the get go. That's a terribly funny movie.
Good reference though by Ken.
Yeah, sorry, Chris Kattan, because I do love your comedy.
Is that where that's from, Corky? Oh, I get it now.
Yes, this is the movie.
The whole time I'm like sitting there, like, I know what Corky Romano is, and I'm like, and then you said, you guys want some cookies? And I remember that. I'm like, yeah, what's the connection there? It's the fucking movie. I wonder
clip
when they were
is lodged in my brain. I can't get rid of it, dude.
Right? Yeah.
Cannot get rid of that.
I wonder. Man, you got to love the research that goes into that, because now the timeline, because this thing jumps all over. Mm-hmm. So now the timeline is probably like 5 years before Breaking Bad, which happened like in the early 2000s.
They said 2003. I think or 2004. That Hummer was a 2003 model.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, either way, like I would have just loved to have been in the writer's room where somebody pitched that joke.
But I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that middle thing was. Andrea Dora?
No. Maybe somebody could tell us and let us know what that is.
Yeah, because honestly, that's way over my head. But everybody knows what the Hindenburg is.
Right. Yeah.
It's not exactly a good year.
Right. And they're posing that they got the $1.4 million. They rope our buddy Ken into chatting with them, and he thinks he's gonna get one over on them. He thinks he's gonna make some easy money, just stumbled into it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. Easy peasy. And they're bilking them for $50 shots of vodka and the expensive-ass wine.
Not just $50 shots of tequila.
Or tequila, that's right.
Bottle of $50 shots of tequila.
Right. And actually, that's Breaking Bad reference number 2, because I believe that's the same kind of tequila that Gus used to kill the Salamanca cartel. Remember?
Wow.
Remember,
Nice.
he brought an expensive bottle of vodka, and he tricked them all into drinking it, made himself throw up, and everybody died except for him. And
nice catch.
Yeah,
2 in one scene.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty damn sure. I didn't get a chance to go back and cross reference it with Breaking Bad, but I'm pretty damn sure.
Well, hopefully
I'm spot on about that.
Before preview of the prior, we can get that taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a great. It's nice because it shows that Kim isn't as uptight as she seems to be, and she actually finds Jimmy's shenanigans a little endearing.
Yeah, she enjoys the thrill
just as much as he does.
Oh, I was going to say that, but I don't think she enjoys it as much as he does.
You don't think so?
No, he lives off that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
like Marco. Marco went out like that.
Good point.
Yeah, he needs that. He literally needs that. That's what the whole scene's about. He needs that thrill to survive. She's just kind of,
Like that was like just a fun deal, right?
She's just escaping a little bit from
right.
life.
Absolutely. They sneak out. Oh, Ken gets stuck with the bill. I wish they would have shown how much the bill was, though.
Yeah, I paused it even trying to find it.
Mm-hmm. And they covered it up well, but maybe that was like some sort of decision just to keep it. You know, like The Simpsons make jokes that are timely at the time, but here, like 30 years later, you know, like the joke makes absolutely no sense. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's kind of keeping like a timeless. Well, no, because it dated the 2003 Hummer.
Yeah,
because I was going to say maybe the prices, you know, if somebody watches it 10 years down the road, then the prices will fluctuate. But I don't know. For some reason, in a show that's just packed with details, for some reason, I just really wish that I would have seen how much the bill was. I think that could have made it so much more funny if Ken got stuck with like a $10,000 tab.
Well, maybe you just have to do the math. $50 a shot. A shot's an ounce or two. Mm-hmm. How many ounces in a bottle?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, at least $30, $40 somewhere in there. one bottle of $50 shot tequila is at least $30 on the tab.
I'll bet if you went to a casino and won $400, it still wouldn't cover the bottle.
And Dave, you got your wish, man. They smooched.
That's right. So apparently the way out of the friend zone is by scamming other people.
Right, yeah. You got to be alpha, man. That's just the way it goes. You got to be alpha. And so, Dave, you said all through season 1, I think you even said a couple times to our coverage of season 2 over the past few weeks that you want them to hook up, and it finally happened.
There seems to be a level of comfort and intimacy with each other, and that toothbrushing scene was very, very intimate.
Yeah. Gross, right?
On Jimmy's part.
Okay, so just a personal story. Once upon a time, Dave and I lived together years and years and years ago. And
oh my God, what did you do to my toothbrush?
No, nothing. But we had a neighbor downstairs who had a girl staying with them she was kind of like a vagabond. It was like the weirdest thing. Like he like took in this girl that like he just randomly met.
Runaway.
Yeah, it was like a teenage runaway. It was really odd. For the record, this person was not our friend. We just kind of like were friends with his roommates. So anyway, this like 20-year-old man takes in like a teenage runaway, and she stayed at his apartment for like a week. And I remember catching them sharing toothbrushes, and that was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. And for some reason, this where Jimmy he's making the argument as to, you know, they've already swapped all sorts of body fluids. Like what does it matter?
So what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Right. I agree with Jimmy. Yeah. What's the big deal?
I don't know. I agree with Kim. I feel that is very different, and it's gross. So he brushes his teeth.
I'm not going to lie. I agree with Kim also. That's really gross.
He brushes his teeth with
her finger.
With her finger. And that's bullshit, because anybody who's been camping knows that if you do not have a toothbrush, you can either use Coca-Cola and gargle with that, or you use your T-shirt. Wrap your T-shirt around your finger.
I've literally been on camping trips where I've used my finger as a toothbrush.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because there were bears and stuff.
I have too. I've seen it before where people like stick their finger in their T-shirt just to really give it a scraping. But
Coca-Cola, it is fizzy.
What I like, right? Yeah, you swish it around, it kills.
I want to know what he flosses with. He says, "What do you see what I floss with?"
Yeah, God willing, we'll find out. But what I liked about that is that whole scene broke down a lot of Kim's
barriers, walls.
Yeah, if you will, right?
Baggage.
Because like we know about her, you know, she's a very successful businesswoman, right? She has this affinity for this con artist, Jimmy. You know, she participates in one of his scams, and kind of, you know, she's endeared by that. They end up sleeping together, and it was just kind of a funny little moment that I caught when he's using her finger to brush his teeth, and she's like, "I'm fine with it."
It's like a compromise.
Yeah. Yeah. But like it's like
I'm fine with this. Yeah,
it's like I'm not backing it. You know, it was like she knew that he did that to weird her out, and she just tried to one up him. And she's like, I'm fine with it,
right?
You know, and that's what he said. You should see what I floss with.
Yeah, her fingernail. Duh.
Yeah, but it's nice that their relationship is going somewhere.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, maybe that tequila's worth it if you drink a whole bottle and you feel like that in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, they weren't even hungover.
They're not even hungover, dude. They were smashed.
Right. But you know what? Then she puts the walls right back up because she's getting ready to go to work, Jimmy's kind of lounging, and she says, "You got somewhere to go?"
I think it was that seemed to me more like if he had his own place, he could stay there. But she's like, "You got somewhere to go? Like, you're not using me as a place to crash."
Are we saying the same thing? That's how I took it. As like,
okay.
I took it as she was basically saying, "Get out of my house."
Well, yeah, but not as like she doesn't want him in her house. It's kind of to teach him a lesson,
right? Like I took it as like she was just building. She was drawing her boundaries. Like, okay, this is fun, but like I'm the master of my domain. You're not going to just sit here and hang out in my nice ass house.
Yeah, I think we're slightly different on that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Okay, so yeah, we disagree on something.
Hey, coffee drinkers. Why are you standing in line paying way too much for fast food coffee? Get yourself some real coffee from Tugboat Coffee. Tugboat Coffee is real, direct trade, specialty coffee roasted by master roaster and founder Eric Barkley. I know he does it. I've seen him myself. No more paying $20 for a shot of espresso and a bunch of sugar milk. Get real artisan coffee at www.tugboatcoffee.com. That's www.tugboatcoffee.com. So then the police show up at Warmald's house.
Which, I'm going to cut you off there.
Yeah, go ahead.
So on the registration, if you consult page 1 of my notes, Warmald lives at 216 Bellington Court. When the police pull up, 7729 is the number on the curb.
Oh. Eagle-eyed Dave. Look at that.
That's right, Fail Scouts.
Yeah.
Looking at you, buddy.
Where were you on that one? a rare inconsistency for this show.
Yeah, I don't know why I did.
That's
honestly, so that led me to thinking that this whole time the cops are in the house, that's not his real residence, or that's not the residence that's on the registration.
Right.
But the name's the same.
Well,
so it's not like a fake ID. It's not registered to a false name. So I think it's just like they're not going to repaint a curb for a TV show.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, maybe he's doing the whole thing where, like people in Chicago will keep their vehicles registered to their parents' house, so they don't have to pay the bullshit.
Because you're taxed on where you live and not where you purchased the vehicle,
right? Or also in the city of Chicago, you have to pay like $200 for some bullshit city sticker so you can park on the streets, even though you already pay taxes to the goddamn city to pay for the streets anyway.
Right. Well,
you know what I mean? But if you have an out of city license plate, they can't tax you for that because you're not technically a resident. That's pretty interesting though that you caught the address discrepancy. I wonder if that's something that might come up later.
I don't know.
Like maybe it's some sort of weird evasion tactic by Wormald, and maybe it'll come up later in the season. Who knows? His house is ransacked. He's concerned about his baseball cards, and apparently he has a lot of kick-ass, high-value baseball cards.
Yeah, man. He's got all top loaders, and you're looking at a 9-point downgrade to tamper with anything.
What's the top loader?
I don't know. I guess it's the
where you slide it?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So those of you listening, we just did hand motions to communicate.
Right, yeah.
He did. When you load in the case from the top, yes.
Police are suspicious, and he slipped up and said that there was a good deal of cash missing. They asked him how much, and he tried to change the subject. He tried to go back to the baseball cards, like, oh, that's not important.
Yeah, let's just focus on the cards.
Yeah, rookie mistake. That's a rookie move. He should have just said like $300.
Yeah, what's with all these people that are like denying the fact that they're criminals? Betsy Kettleman won't admit that she's a criminal. The Kettlemans can't admit that they're criminals. This guy can't admit that he's a criminal.
Well, he can't admit that he's a criminal to the police.
Well, he can't do it to Mike either. Remember? Every time Mike says you're a criminal, he's always like, well, no, I'm not.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of denial on Albuquerque.
Seems to be Saul Goodman's kind of clientele.
Yeah. Yeah.
The lawyer is the actual criminal. Yeah.
He arouses suspicion of the police, tries to change the subject, and the police start talking about the Hummer, and I didn't understand what they meant when they said Arnold Schwarzenegger is the reason that Hummers exist. Did you catch that?
Yeah. And this is back in like 2003. This is when he was president of California. This is back when he was mayor. This is back when he was governor of California. Did he drive one of those things when he was governor?
I don't know.
Must have.
But apparently he's the reason that Hummers exist.
I'm trying to think of a movie he drove it in or something.
We're going to have to do some research on that and figure out exactly what he meant by that.
Unless it's just the car version of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Maybe.
Maybe,
yeah, but I think Hummers have been around since way before Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right, because it's a military grade vehicle.
Well, I mean,
kind of mass
Arnold
produced
Schwarzenegger's been around since the 40s. Technically.
Yeah. Very true. All right.
Since he became popular, 70s, yeah.
We'll put that in the column of shit Dave and Brian say they're going to research, and then they never researched. So, so moving on, Wormold, he wants to get his listing, right, of all the cards that he has.
His freaking detailed manifest.
And that's some good sleuthing by the police there to figure out to pull the couch away from the wall.
Because the dumbass had already pulled the couch away from the wall,
right, and moved all the all the junk on the floor,
or the thief did it, and
nobody ever caught it.
Nobody noticed.
That's some good sleuthing there.
Yeah,
that's some good police work.
That's right. Wait to detect. Detectives.
Right, because when they were playing that out, I didn't pick up on that. I'm like, why are they suspicious all of a sudden? Like, what the fuck is the couch? Yeah. And then it was like a great camera angle to show their thought process and them moving the couch. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty clever. But the thing about that is I can't believe it took two people to move a couch. It took two grown-ass men to pivot a couch. True to this old TV show universe's preferred method of money storage. It's in the wall.
It's in the wall.
Yep, it's in the wall.
Right,
I actually thought that was kind of clever, though.
Yeah, little baseboard.
Base. And he likes baseball.
Baseboard.
Right, yeah. I know that's such a stretch, but like I was sitting there trying to put that together.
A lot of alliteration.
Yeah, a lot of alliteration.
I didn't put that together till just now.
Really? See, I was watching and I'm like, baseball? Baseboard? There's got to be something there, but there probably is.
What's the third base? I don't mean below the waist touching.
All right. And then we're back at the pool. Jimmy's Lounge again. Pretty ballsy move by Jimmy, I thought. He just ripped off a guy for a lot of money who's local. Ken, he doesn't know that Ken's not local. He shows up in Breaking Bad, so he lives there. I mean, I would have thought me personally, I would have thought there would have been a pretty significant chance of running into the same guy again.
Well, it's a hotel bar.
Right.
Hotels
people go to
usually
hotel
full
bars
of travelers.
just to drink, though.
Yes, this is true.
You know what I mean? So maybe he assumed he was traveling. I'm just saying, and then under different circumstances, that could have ended up badly.
I'm just saying that.
And actually,
just saying that if the guy looked at the bill before they left, it could have been badly. I mean, how lucky are you that you just? Well, I guess he kind of purposely distracted him to the point of not looking at the bill.
Right? They hustled out. They kind of like, well, I gotta go.
But because I mean, if it's me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't have, Harris Casino waiting for Dave money.
Right, yeah.
I'm snatching the bill right away and taking a look and seeing what you owe me.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And when it opened up and he was back in the pool, though, I thought that was going to be like a conflict. I thought Ken was going to reappear.
Oh, no. Yeah, I had already forgotten about Ken as much as Jimmy had. Yeah.
Okay. And not much goes on in the scene except for super hot chick hangs out with fat hairy guy.
Well, it's the mark.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is now Jimmy's. Like, now his wheels are turning, and again he calls Kim and he tries to drag her into another scam. Mm-hmm. Refers to himself as the lioness ready to hunt.
Yeah, he wants to be species specific.
Right? Yeah. But then
join the pride. That was awesome. I laughed. Yeah. I chuckled at that. That was good.
But then it was very well acted. But I mean, that was definitely a turning point. Like that whole little soliloquy.
Yeah,
that he had with himself. Like I feel that the character of Jimmy then realized how ridiculous he actually sounds, and that's when he's like, "What the fuck am I doing?" And then he calls Davis and Maine. So even though it kind of opened with him having like a definitive direction of where he thinks his life would go. It's very much in flux. He's still struggling with who he is.
That was the moment where I was thinking, okay, the title of the episode's called Switch. Mm-hmm. He switches from being in law to not being in law, but in actuality, he's switching back and forth. He switches a couple times.
Yeah.
And I think the bigger switch, the more impactful switch is him going back into law, and he's going to stick at that at least through this season.
Right.
Because it is a TV show. You kind of think in chapters and acts.
Yeah, they got 9 more episodes to go. So
right. Once again, putting off how long it takes him to transform to Saul Goodman.
Yep, absolutely.
Slow
burn. And then it kind of cuts to a nice musical montage of him getting acclimated and onboarded at Davis and Maine.
Really, really fancy.
Yeah, pretty, yeah. It's not just fancy. It's like New Mexico fancy. Like a lot of turquoise, a lot of like vaguely Native American decorations.
Like dim lights mixed with bright lights.
Mm-hmm, yeah, lots going on. You think there'll be anything with that weird painting of, I'm not really sure if that was like a skateboarder or it was like really odd, right? It was like the clothes of like a skateboarder, but there was like no real face to it. But they made it a point to point out the painting hanging in Jimmy's office.
I took that as more of a sign of like affluence. Like, oh, you don't like that piece of art? Well, we have many, many more pieces of art to choose from.
So Dave and I are having a little trouble tracking down the name of that painting, but I can't help but think there's nothing more. See, that's the thing about these goddamn shows. Like you always see little things, and you always think there's something more to it.
Right, and sometimes it's not that, and then something really subtle has some meaning to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody out there could track down the name and artist of that painting and let us know, we sure would appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Van Gogh.
So Jimmy sits down. He's kind of surveying surrounding, getting a lay of the land, and doesn't request a new painting, but he definitely requests a Cocobolo desk.
Yeah, very sheepishly asks for the Cocobolo.
Mm-hmm. Which is what he wanted. He mentions that in season 1.
Yep.
All he wants is a Cocobolo desk.
And he shall have it.
Then we end to the final scene. Jimmy's just kind of taking it all in and does the classic. You know, in real life, when somebody's like trying to make sense of stuff, I very rarely see people just randomly look out the window into the distance. However, in like every TV show ever or every movie, if somebody has to think, looking out the window does it for you.
I love how 30 Rock references that a lot.
Do they?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin's character says this weekend will be filled with much staring out of windows, holding a glass of scotch. Or like someone's in a spot and like, that's my staring window. The guest window's down there.
Gotcha. Well, that's great. Okay. You keep telling me about 30 Rock. I've never seen it, but like stuff like that makes me actually want to watch it.
Yes.
But yeah. So, you know, he's at his steering window. He sees a black switch on the wall with, a note that says, do not turn off this switch. So, of course.
What's the first thing he does?
Turns off the fucking switch.
Title of episode.
Yeah. And he's just kind of waiting to see what happens. And nothing happens. Do you have a switch like that in your house?
The switch that I have, it says, don't turn off this switch, is the life support system for the house.
Is it really?
No.
No.
I don't have a switch.
I didn't know. But my parents' house is like over 100 years old. Mm-hmm. And there's a switch from as long as I can remember. It's on a stairwell, and I flip it, nothing happens. Flip it, nothing happens. And my mom...
On the third try, Beetlejuice shows up.
Yeah, the house blew up or something. But I've even asked my mother, I'm like, you grew up in this house. What is this switch for? What does it do? And even she had no idea. So the only theory I could think of is like when they were like patching the wall or whatever for the stairwell, that maybe because it's wood, maybe they were just reusing wood and there just happened to be like a notch cut out of it. So they just stuck a light switch on there just to make like it looks like it does something, but it does absolutely nothing. And Jimmy's switch does absolutely nothing as well.
Or it does something, the consequences of which will not come into play till later.
Right. I think that's the most obvious. Maybe that'll come into play later.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine them dropping that because it wasn't like a random detail. It was like a full portion of the scene was dedicated to.
Yeah, but I honestly, I think it's just more the fact that Jimmy's going to do it. Like, especially if you tell him not to, the first thing he's going to do is do it.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I think that's more metaphoric than literal.
He's going to do it, and then he learns that there's no consequences to doing it, even though it says not to.
Ooh.
Yeah, so maybe he's getting comfortable with You know?
That's just his mentality. He's that little kid that you just, this is why we can't have nice things. Because every time I tell you not to do something, you do it. Like if you want him to behave, you'll tell him to talk.
Mm-hmm. Right on. So, thoughts on the show? First episode of season 2. What do you think?
I'm ready for more, baby. I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like...
strong start, I feel.
Was Chuck in this episode?
He was not.
Okay, that's the next episode. I have thoughts on that stuff. Yeah, I think it sets the foundation for Jimmy's struggle back and forth. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of his moral ambiguity.
Yeah,
is definitely going to be more at play here.
Right, and his relationship with Kim is ramping
it's banging
up
right now, literally.
Yeah, getting complicated, and it's getting complicated.
Change that Facebook status, buddy. It's complicated.
And Ed Begley Jr. is not the second Hamlin.
No,
even though we thought it might be. That was a solid guess on our part. I think that was a solid guess, but just not the way things are going down. I hold out hope, though.
The second Hamlin is Saul Goodman. Paradox.
Well, there is a lot of time traveling in this series, so
like 2 surgeons crammed in an elevator. That's a paradox.
Nice. So stupid.
I just made it up on the spot.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, what did you think? What did you think about the first episode of season 2? Dave and I are pretty pumped to watch it with you this season. Remember, we are your buddies on the couch. We are going to post these episodes the minute the show gets over. It's going to be posted. We're pretty excited. I think it started off a great way. I want to hear your thoughts, suggestions, comments. Feel free to pitch your theories on what's going on. Feel free to tell us why we're wrong. Maybe somebody could track down that painting in Jimmy's office. Or maybe somebody could come up with an idea why Wormald's addresses didn't quite match up. We'd like to hear it all. Please make sure that you've checked out our episodes over the break where we talk to many of the cast of Better Call Saul. Some great tidbits and insight there. They have some great-ass stories about how they got the part. A lot of fun talking with those folks. We absolutely love them. We're going to keep trying to get more as the season goes on. Now that we have a little bit of clout, we're going to try to get some guests coming on as the season goes through. But we only got 10 weeks, so we'll see.
Right, yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Comes and goes pretty quickly.
But we are so happy to be here with you. Please make sure to check out the Nothing Important Podcast at nothingimportantpodcast.com. Please check out our sponsors and please participate. We're happy to be here with you, and we're excited to watch the rest of season 2 with you. Dave?
Call us idiots, call us geniuses, whatever. Just call us.
It's all